But by and large, I think the problem is that the mass media as a whole don't educate the public about world affairs. Television is replacing newspapers as a source of information. The television news, so-called, gives you practically nothing about the world, gives you a lot of trivia about the world. And as a consequence, the public of what is now the only superpower in the world, of whose policies I'm very critical, the public of this superpower is not very well informed about the world. I have some data in my book on how few Americans know even the fundamentals of geography. That people about to go to college couldn't identify in significant numbers where Great Britain was, or Afghanistan, that close to 30% couldn't locate the Pacific Ocean on the map, and don't ask anyone about the history of other major nations. And that, to my mind, is becoming a more serious problem because the special role of America requires America to act in a way that affects the rest of the world to an unprecedented degree, and we shape our policy on the basis of public attitudes. And if these attitudes are ignorant, it becomes all the more difficult to fashion a policy that is responsive to what I call the historical moment.
Have we become a decadent society?
No, but I fully subscribe to what I said then. I think the major risk to America is that in this really interwoven, interdependent world in which we now exist, we will try to be an island of self-gratification, of hedonism, detaching ourselves from our responsibilities towards the rest of humanity, thereby producing resentment against us, and perhaps more chaos worldwide. So in addressing global problems, I think we have to become increasingly concerned about the moral, cultural dimensions of the potential crisis that the world will face, that we will face, if we're not more responsive.
Have we deteriorated in the last 18 years toward that decadent end?
That's hard to say. I don't necessarily say we have really deteriorated significantly. I don't think we have turned around, however, enough. I don't think we're interested enough in these problems. And I think public ignorance about the world is part of the problem. I think our emphasis on self-gratification, self-amusement is part of the problem. I think our mass culture, as reflected in mass entertainment, is a serious problem because of the kind of values it propagates. And I think we as a country have to ask ourselves, if the globe is to be effectively cooperative, if the crisis that we face in the environment, but also in social affairs, political affairs, religious affairs, is to be overcome, what kind of obligations does that imply upon us?